This is how you become obsessed with yourself. My name is MyQueen. I am 27 years old. I am born and raised here in Phoenix, Arizona, and I am a content creator and podcaster. I got fired. She said it was about quality, and I could understand that 100% because honestly, I was juggling my podcast and social media as well as a 9 to 5. So something was going to come up short, and podcasting is something I'm very passionate about. So I really allowed this job to kind of, slip between my fingers, and I'm 100% fine with that. Like, I told myself I was only going to be there for another month, literally a couple days before I was fired. And so I was like, I think this is divine timing because I've spent a lot of time, wasting time. And I think sometimes you need to be pushed instead of when you're too scared to jump. And I was too scared to jump, and I was definitely pushed out. I would tell them to honestly, literally, the moment I got fired, I put a bikini on, got my makeup, put my makeup on, and went out to the pool. Because it's like there was nothing I could do at that moment. And just acknowledge that. There's nothing you can do right now, so you might as well just soothe yourself for that moment. And I was outside for maybe an hour or two, but just know that there's nothing you can do immediately. So don't stress yourself out immediately and just do what makes you feel good at first. And then that will allow your brain to rest and actually be able to think about what to do next. Because when you're right into that, all stressed out, you're going to run into something stupid again. Another job you don't like.
I have officially decided that yesterday was my last day ever being depressed. Oh, I'll miss her. I feel like I'm wasting my life. I'm so thick, I'm so pretty, I'm so funny, I'm so good to people. I gotta put all this to use.
I started the podcast because I just finished school and I didn't want to go the traditional route in journalism. And I've always been really passionate about listening to podcasts. And I was like, I have something to say. I have an opinion about things. I've experienced a lot of things in my, short amount of time of being here. So I was like, listen, if I could help somebody else with my experiences, then so be it. Because I'm not ashamed of who I am.
Listen, I'm going to feel myself all the way. I'm going to tell myself I'm fine. I'm going to tell myself I'm beautiful. You know why? Because there are people out there that thrive off of bringing you down. And I ain't going to help them. So I'm only going to speak good things about myself.
And that's really what I preach a lot about. I hate saying preach. Ooh, I hate saying preach, but that's what I talk a lot about on my podcast is self-love and not being ashamed of who you are.
Proud of your body. Be proud of your boundaries, your standards, because they exist for a reason and they should be honored by you. And when they're honored by you, other people have no other choice but to honor them.
And I think a lot of people have used me to free themselves from the expectation of who they're supposed to be and just live their life how they want to through me. And I've been very grateful for that.
Fall in love. Put your efforts into something. Go for it. Jump. You fall, you'll get back up. You'll be fine.
I know sometimes people like to say that we don't need validation from others. We don't need anybody else. I don't agree with that. We are, we're human beings and we need one another. And sometimes, someone patting you on the back, telling you you're doing a good job is what you need at that time.
You might think that you're not the prettiest girl. You're not the most handsome man. You don't have the most money. You don't have the best car. That does not disqualify you from being a victim of a hater. It just does not. Because the thing about value or being a valuable person, it has nothing to do sometimes with what you have physically. Someone could literally just be jealous of the fact that you're a cool ass.
So I think for me, it's really going to be impossible for me to never want outside validation, but to accept it from people I trust, right? So people that I trust, and also taking time to validate myself. So on that episode, I talked about how I have a board where I acknowledge myself. So at night, I write down all the things that I've done good for myself. And even if it's super small, you know, like even if it's like taking out the trash, or I don't know, that's not really small, but like, even if it's super small, like you write that down, and then in the morning you congratulate yourself for all the things that you did. So first thing in the morning, you're like, oh, you took out the trash. Good job. You were bad. You know what I mean? And then hype yourself up like you would anybody else. So I think it's a lot easier for us to hype everybody up and cheer everybody on. But when it's our turn, we kind of like, we look at everything we've done bad. We pick ourselves apart. So I think it's a mixture of wanting that validation and seeking it from people we trust, and also doing it for ourselves. I just do a bunch of stuff that I like to do. So like I'll have a day, well, days where I'm like, listen, I'm only going to do something that I want to do.
I'm such a happy to be here kind of person. Like, I don't feel any pressures to act unfazed, to be cool. I really am enjoying my time, and I like to be expressive about it.
So I'll take a long bath, and I'll like romanticize my bath. So I'll put flower petals in my bath and mix it with Epsom salts and all types of oils. Just romanticizing every single part of my life has really helped me and reminded my spirit that I love me, you know? And like, or even if it's like putting on your favorite podcast and while you wash your face and light a candle. So everything for me is just a little extra, going that little extra mile for myself. And that's what's really helped me a lot. Do I think I have a high self-esteem? I would say most of the time I have a high self-esteem.
I am in my prime. I am ridiculously fine. I got a good head on my shoulders. I treat people with respect. I'm a bad and I can't be slowed down or interrupted.
How do you get a high self-esteem? I think going back to the people you surround yourself with, I'm very, very big on being choosy on who you spend your time with. I think a lot of the people around you, especially for me, are a reflection of me. Everybody, I feel like, is a reflection of me, to be honest. So when I'm around somebody and they're tearing themselves down and they're doing all that, that goes on to me. So I surround myself with people who also have a high self-esteem, who also love themselves, who are also doing things. They're not perfect. Nobody is. And accepting that as well, accepting that you're not perfect. And like I said, being around those people who are doing the work for themselves. Yeah, it's literally about who you surround yourself with for me. I journal a lot, and I have my entire life. As of recent, I've started scripting, and that's a way of manifesting. And I think that has been my favorite way of manifesting. So like, if you guys don't know what scripting is exactly, I'll explain it a little bit, but it's like you're talking from your future self. I'm like, today I was like, oh, I just got back from an award show. I won this for being a good author. And then I'll be like, what would you tell your past self, which is me today? And my future self will give my past self advice. If that makes any sense. I don't know. But I write down advice for my past self and my future self. I bought a journal that has a couple different types of manifestations, and I tried a couple of them, and none of them really felt right. I felt really forced, and this one just felt the best. I think it's because I love storytelling. It makes me feel like I'm telling a story. I would love to write a book. I would love to be courageous enough to share what's on my mind, in written form. It's really scary for me, and I think it's scary for a reason. The secret to a healthy life is good friends. Buy great lip gloss. Say your affirmations every morning and get physical. Go run, whatever you like to do, dance, anything. Get physical. My favorite thing about myself is my sense of humor.